Hello, and welcome to Green Tech Southwest. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us on your lunch. We've got a very exciting event for you today. We'll be getting started at 12:30 as usual, but just for those who are new to Green Tech Southwest or particularly new to our online events, just a little bit of housekeeping, just to make sure that you get the most out of these events and make it as interactive as possible. So yeah, we're really looking forward to having Sandra on. It's a huge honour that she's able to make the time to do these events with us. So we're really excited about that. As I mentioned, some of you might be new to the online events. So just to make sure you know where everything is and how to get the best of these events. Obviously, as you can see on the side, we've got a bit of a chat feed going. So we absolutely love a chatty chat feed on these online events. It just really makes it feel like we're all in the room with each other and interacting about all these exciting topics. So feel free to introduce yourself. Let us know where you're tuning in from. See, we've already got a few people joining us from Denmark and Poland, which is very exciting. My name is Ellen. I'm one of the organisers at Green Tech Southwest, and you'll be meeting Mike and Hannah a bit further on. So we've got a few buttons here along the sides, which will help you interact with the event as well. So throughout the talk, there'll be an opportunity for you to ask questions in the Ask a Question section. That's a little question mark there, because we will be doing a Q&A session at the end, so that anything you want to ask Sandra about the talk or anything, we will be able to store there and make sure that we get all of your questions answered at the end. We'll also be doing a 60-second intro section, which is basically an opportunity for anyone in the community to have a shout out or a bit of a humble brag about something that they're working on. So whether it's something that you'd like to share with the community that you think they might be of interest, or if it's a project that you're working on that you'd like people to get involved with, this is your opportunity to just 60 seconds, let us know what it is, and we'll help people get in touch with you following. So just if that is something you'd be interested in, we'll ask about this again a bit further on, but do just let us know in the chat feature, and Mike will make sure you get invited onto screen. We've also got some exciting talks with new sponsors at the moment. So stay tuned. Thank you for everyone who's gotten in touch. It's looking forward to an exciting 2025. So do stay tuned there. We are also in the lookout for new volunteers or people who are keen to join us, but whether that's on sort of helping on the night level, help us setting up the room, or just helping us with the event, more the in-person events on the day. Please do let us know, or if that's more on an organizational level, please do get in touch as well. I'm always keen to hear from people who'd like to get involved. So you can get in touch with us via our email address, which is greentechsw@gmail.com, and we'll make sure it's shared in the chat function as well. Please do let us know if you'd like to get involved, because we'd love to hear from you. We'll be getting started at bang on 12:30. So for those of you who are new and who've just joined us, welcome, and thank you so much for taking the lunch break to join us. We're definitely excited about this coming up talk, so it should be a really great one. Sandra is going to be talking about helping us communicate the environmental impact of digital tech and how to accelerate the awareness by introducing two powerful tools. So really looking forward for a talk there. And then as an added bonus as well, it's a huge honor that Sandra will be running one of her Planet on Stage workshops specifically just for Green Tech Southwest community on the 7th of May, and that would be in Bristol. So we're really looking forward to that. So if you are local, definitely see if you can come along to that, because not one to be missed. We'll make sure to share all the details further on as well. So not long till we're getting started. As I mentioned, we will be doing a 60-second intro, and there are various buttons throughout the on the right hand side of the screen that'll help you interact with the event. We're just really looking forward to to today's event. As always, I will be doing a write-up and an event follow-up for today's event, which will mean that the today's talk, like the recording, will be available. We will also make sure that Sandra's slides are available, and any links or resources that are shared throughout the event, we'll make sure that's all rounded up there as well. So if there's any articles or any sort of bits of information that you feel like are relevant to the talk or of interest to people in the community, please do share them. It makes for a really resourceful event when you share things that you come across that are relevant to the talk. And like I said, I'll make sure that these are all available after in the event write-up. Same with 60-second intros. I'll make sure that your contact information, if you're happy for me to share that, or just your LinkedIn page, is written up as well, so that if anyone did want to get in touch with you off the back of your 60-second intro, we'll make sure to be able to facilitate that. And also, if you want to rewatch the video, or if you would like to access Sandra's slides after the event, then we'll make sure that that's available too. So shouldn't be too far. Here we go, Hannah. And Mike.
There we go. We're all the right size. Fantastic, Ellen. What a great intro. Thank you. You always do such a good job at kind of filling the tumbleweed and giving people some orientation to the group and what we do before we get started. So really, really appreciated. And well done. It's been a while since you've done it, and I think you nailed that.
Thanks, Hannah. Dusting off the cobwebs.
Yeah, you did a great job. All right. Well, I can see that there are people joining us. I think we should stick to time and kind of give the official welcome and the official intro and get proceedings going, if everyone is okay with that. So just to set the scene, we are a little rusty on doing an online only event. So I'm going to check with Mike and Ellen that the expectation is that I'm now doing the next little bit. Yeah, all right, fantastic, good, okay. Well, then I will get going and say a huge welcome to everyone. Those of you that are with us, thank you so much for joining. We are Green Tech Southwest. We will tell you a little bit about ourselves shortly. We also want to shout out nice and early on a big thank you to our sponsors, AdLib, Crystal Hosting and the Discourse. Without their support, we couldn't do these events, and we certainly couldn't do the hybrid events that we do. So a massive, massive thank you. We don't do an awful lot of social media within the group, but we do post on LinkedIn. So if you're on LinkedIn and you fancy keeping up to date with what's going on with Green Tech Southwest, you can find us there. Okay, let's move on. So I've already said a big thank you to our sponsors. There they are again. And Mike, Ellen and myself have been the co-founders and organisers of this community since 2020. In fact, I think we planned the first event in 2019, just before the pandemic hit. This community is nothing without all of you. So thank you so much to all of you that are joining, taking a time to be here today, taking time to listen to Sandra. And like Bjorn said, some of you have been members or supporters of this community for a really, really long time. So thank you to you all. And great to see a few people introducing themselves in the comments. Please do. We love a chatty comments feed, as Ellen said right at the beginning. Introduce yourselves to us, to each other. Let us know you're there, because I think it makes these online events feel way more fun, way more engaging when you know there's other people around. So yeah, big thank you to all of you for joining today. When we run our hybrid events, so hybrid is a mix of online and in person, we have a fantastic set of volunteers, Sam, Tariq, John and Tim. Even though they are not hands-on supporting the event today, we still want to give a big shout out to them. So we're very grateful. And we need more help at these physical events. So if you're based in and around Bristol area and you feel like getting more involved in the community, let us know. We've got lots and lots of things, lots of ambitions, lots of ideas, and we'd love more involvement, more people to keep this community thriving, and yeah, being the great place it is. So what is this community? What are we all about? Well, we've a very simple set of aims. Mike, Ellen and I haven't changed these aims since we kind of set this community up five plus years ago. The aim is we're all about showcasing a variety of people using tech to solve different sustainability problems using ingenious methods. And some of that gets quite meta because sometimes some of this is about people using tech to reduce the sustainability impacts of tech itself. So it can get quite meta. But essentially, we are always about showcasing people doing cool things. And we've always felt very strongly that we should have a good local community ethos and be open and inclusive as well. So whilst this group is called Green Tech Southwest, it is open to everyone. And we can see people joining us from all over the country and all over the world today, which is really, really exciting. So a big welcome to you. If you're not from the Southwest, you are most welcome here, and we are extremely pleased to have you along. So we'll share a link, or Mike, I think, has already done it, to our code of conduct and constitution if you're interested in that detail. The code of conduct really just says be nice. We totally get that sustainability can be a very emotive subject. You know, the crises that we're dealing and confronting with are difficult at times. So we always ask everyone to be respectful of each other, to be considerate of different people's learning journeys, perhaps different people's ideas for approaching and fixing things. So we just ask for mutual respect amongst our participants and towards our speakers. But that's it, really. Dead simple. Be nice. What a great code of conduct. All right, moving on then. So that was a little bit about the group. For those of you that joined us early, you will have heard Ellen talking about the write-up. One thing that we have done with every single event we've ever run is written, well, Ellen has done this for every single event, Ellen the hero, for what, 44 events now? If you go to greentechsouthwest.org, you will see a write-up of every single event. That will include a link to the recording, to the slides, and to any pertinent links that were shared in the chat throughout. So it becomes this really beautiful resource of stuff. And Ellen will be doing the same for this event too. So in a couple of days' time, you'll find a full write-up of this on Green Tech Southwest. Okay, so check it out. There's a lot of really cool stuff there. Oh, and I managed to accidentally click on the link. There we go. All right then. So handing over to the community 60-second intros. Ellen, are you the host for this part? I can't remember exactly who's doing what. Or am I doing it?
I think it's you, Hannah.
Oh, okay, fantastic. Thanks, guys. Good team effort here. All right then. So something, we were saying that these events are very community driven. The ethos is very much about connecting people, different kinds of people together. Every single event we've ever done, we've always done this segment, the community 60-second intros. It comes with fun. Sometimes it works really well, and sometimes the tech defeats us. Let's see what the dice roll for us today. But the core idea is that we can invite any one of you who are our audience to the stage for 60 seconds to introduce yourself. So maybe you just want to come on stage and just say hi. This is me, this is what I do, I'd love to connect. Maybe you want to share something that you're working on, a project or an initiative. Maybe you have a request for help or guidance. Maybe you're new to the space and you'd love to know where you could find X, Y, Z. Or maybe simply you just stumbled across a really cool resource or some knowledge that you'd like to share with each other. The idea is very much, if we were in a physical room together, this would be you standing up, coming to the front of the stage for 60 seconds with the microphone and kind of saying something to the community and kind of introducing yourself to the community. So sometimes we have like 10 or 12 people that want to do this, and sometimes it takes a bit longer to get going. But I can see already Nigel, who we haven't, I think Nigel was at our last in-person event actually, so hi Nigel. Let us know in the chat if you want to come on screen and do a 60-second intro. We will start with Nigel, and then hopefully we can get Cal on as well. So what you can expect is that we will invite you to the screen. You should get a little note, like a notification pop up, and then we should see you coming and joining us. So I'm imagining we've invited Nigel already. Yeah, Mike's on it. So hopefully, Nigel, you'll come with us shortly. We can get Cal set up as well. So that we usually have plenty of time.
Hello, hi.
Aha, wonderful, Nigel. Wonderful to see you. Thank you for being the first to break the seal and come and do a 60-second intro. I know you've been to lots of our events before, so you know how this works. So over to you. The floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. I'm Naismith. I'm a director animator based in Bristol. I work with freelancers making films about health and sustainability. We offer basic, medium, and premium storyboards. And so if you're interested in creating an animation to get across your client's story, get in touch with me at drnaismith@hotmail.com. Thank you.
Done like a pro. Excellent. Thank you, Nigel. How lovely to see you today. And as always, we say to people when you do your 60-second intro, do leave your contact details in the chat because we always include them in the write-up as well, so people can find you. All right, lovely. Thank you, Nigel, showing us exactly how it's done. So hopefully let's have Cal come and join us on the screen now. So hopefully, Cal, you'll be getting an invitation shortly. And anyone else, please let us know. We'd love to have a few more 60-second intros. It brings life to the event. You get an idea of who's behind the screen. And here we go. Cal is also behind the screen. Welcome. Hi.
Thank you, Hannah. And yeah, hello, everybody. I'm Cal Innes. I'm a digital sustainability specialist in the UK, working with colleges and universities to better understand all things to do with sustainability, particularly digital sustainability. One of the ways I do this is each month I curate a digital sustainability newsletter as well, which is completely free of charge and just hoping to basically spread the word of what we can do and what's happening with all the big players from Microsoft to Google and all the various things around AI and e-waste that I'm sure we're all interested in here as well. So it's just really a way for people to not have to trudge through lots and lots of information. It's all there in one place is the idea.
Excellent. Well, sign me up. Sounds good, Cal.
Thank you very much.
So as before, wonderful intro. Thank you. That was so beautifully succinct and on point. We're really, really grateful for that. Please do leave your contact details and, of course, where people can sign up to join your newsletter in the chat. Wonderful. All right. Lovely. Thank you again, Cal. Really nice to have you with us. Is there anybody else that is feeling that they want to come and introduce themselves to the group, come and say hi, share something, ask something? I don't think I noticed anyone else pop their hands up. So we have a slightly quieter set of people today, but that's all good. In that case, I think if we don't have any other takers, I'm really hoping, come on, we could have a third one. Somebody else feeling like, oh, their hand is just hovering on the button to click, just to say, oh, all right, maybe not. All right. Well, we've had two. I will take that as a win. Thank you, Cal. Thank you, Nigel. In that case, let us move on. Mike, I'm pretty sure we are now handing over to you to introduce Sandra to us. And so Ellen and I are going to disappear and leave you to get the show on the road.
Great stuff. Thanks, Hannah. Invite's just gone over to Sandra, so hopefully she'll be with us soon. Just move a few things around here. Hi, Sandra. Can't hear you. Just bear with me. Hello.
Okay. Hi.
That's better.
Yes, you can hear
All good.
me.
Great. Thank you so much for coming along and sharing all these amazing initiatives that you're working on. With Planet on Stage. So yeah, we're really excited to obviously welcome you in person in May. And as Hannah and Ellen have said, it'd be great to see some familiar faces there as well. Just a quick reminder to everyone, if you can pop any questions into your Q&A icon on the right-hand side. It's the second one down. If you want to throw any questions over to Sandra, I'll come back on stage just after her talk and put the most popular ones to her. So Yeah, and then as Hannah said, the write-up will go out to everyone on our website and via Meetup for everyone who's attended as well. But yeah, I'll get out of the way and I'll leave the floor with you, Sandra. And thank you so much again.
Thank you to you for this amazing opportunity. I'm already thrilled to see all this engaging community. I will share my screen, and when I share my screen, I think I will be blind. So Mike, you will help me probably to be my ears as well a little bit.
Yeah, no problem.
And sorry if I can't interact with you or can't see actually the chat box and what's going on. And yes, I'm correct. Actually, I can't see you anymore, so I'm blind. And I'm sure there will be comments, and please interact and please ask questions as we go. Today, it's about communicating digital sustainability issues with impact. So learning more about it and learning more about actually some actions. And what I wanted to do today is to start with a story. You will see, I love stories. This story is about Luigi Cani. Luigi Cani is a Brazilian skydiving icon. When I say icon, I'm not joking here. He has jumped over 14,000 times in the air, and he has more than 11 world records, including a free fall speed record. I mean, I can't even imagine. And Luigi, one day, because he's Brazilian, seeing the devastation of the Amazon, decided to set up a big reforestation project by in his own way. And I think it's really interesting to see what he did. So he worked 5 years in a row to reforest over 100 square kilometer area of degraded land in the Brazilian region. And this he has done by dispersing 100 million seeds from 20 different native trees. And he did it in his own way. He did it with a big jump. And he made sure that it spread out equally and he has enough chances that those seeds will grow. And actually, what is more amazing is that there is actually 95% chance that these seeds will grow. So he made sure about this. And he did this jump in November 2023. And I want to let you see what he did. You might not hear the music eventually, and he's speaking in Spanish, but don't worry, it's just about the jump. Isn't that amazing? I can't show you more because I don't have an expanded time as well to talk to you. So I love storytelling, but also I love hope. Hope in sustainability is super important. And I love this story because there are lots of similarities to what I do every single day. Every single day, I try to spread those seeds as well in my own way. I don't have them physically, but I try to spread the awareness and the will to act and engage with complex sustainability topics. So who am I to talk to you today? Sorry, it's a bit silly here, but it's just to understand for you how many hats I have, because today I will need to have 2 hats. First and foremost, I'm a sustainability consultant expert. I wasn't that for many, many years. Actually, my first career during 20 years was to do marketing communication in big corporates, and then also to change and push for advertising in a media agency for more than 10 years. So when my son, he was 16, 8 years ago, roughly, looked at me over the dinner table and told me, "Mom, I don't understand the job you're doing. I will never do that." And then he asked me to go to the Fridays for Future in March 2019. I realized that I needed to change course of my career and actually use all of my skill sets, my energy and efforts to put into the acceleration of the transition, because I didn't want him to care for it. He had to study. So I did that, and I said, okay, blank sheet of paper, what can I do? Well, I know communication, so let's use communication as a tool. I became a conference speaker. I give keynotes as well. I am a master of ceremony for sustainability-related events. But what I really love is to train people to actually become better and communicate with easiness and accessibility on those so difficult topics. I also love to create, so I co-created 2 conferences, the Climate Pitch Conference and the Digital Impact Pitch, and we will talk about this today. And I just launched last week a storytelling show called Stories to Change History, and I hope to be able to launch it in London very, very soon. It really resonated because we need some really good news in this current context. So I also co-founded a non-for-profit organization called Planet on Stage. And Planet on Stage actually owns those conferences that I co-created because I wanted this seed to spread much quicker. And therefore, we're also training people to deploy those tools. That's what we will see as well in this webinar. I'm also engaged in another organization, Second Hat, which is a digital collage organization. And we will talk about this workshop, which is different from a conference format. I'm also involved and engaged as a professional facilitator in the Climate Fresk organization. There's a lot of organizations. So let's put 2 hats today on. It's the Planet on Stage with conferences and the digital collage workshop. All right, so let's move on. I will present you 2 different tools today, which should help you actually to come up with better sustainability communication around you, being in a university, being within a local council, for example, being in your own team and you want to convince them to bring them into speed with the right responsible actions to be done in the tech area. So one is a 3 hours workshop, is this digital collage that you can see here. And on the left side, you can see the conference, which is a short format interactive conference. But before I go into both of the tools here, I want to bring you behind the scenes of those tools and why they are so particular. Why I'm not talking about a lecture or something that is standard and you've seen PowerPoints and PowerPoints on end. So what are the ingredients that make those workshops and those conferences different and unique? And now I sound very commercial, but actually it's not, both non-for-profit organizations as well. One basis is collaboration. We use collaboration and interactions in all of our tools because we're convinced that when people engage directly, they will retain much better. And actually studies show that by the participatory teaching methods, we are much more impactful and people will actually engage much more. This is the learning pyramid. Probably you've seen it somewhere, but it shows us that, the pyramid from the basis, when you participate, when you're engaged into the content that you're learning, you retain much better. And also there is another element that we use during our workshop. It's called collective intelligence. And you all know what it is, collective intelligence. Collective intelligence is just that every one of us knows something, even in sustainability, even if you step into sustainability for the first time. You're not an imposter, you will know something, and we will show you that during our workshop. And when you combine this with other people, then that makes a whole content and a whole knowledge. I will come up to that afterwards. Another ingredient I want to share with you is that everything we do is based on 3 key pillars. And we were inspired by the Climate Psychologist Initiative. And not only that, lots of concepts and schools of thoughts have set up this particular structure of first understanding what's going on in the world, understanding what's at stake, understanding the scale, understanding the urgency. That is key. It's like solving a problem. If you don't really understand the problem, you cannot solve it. So you need to be equipped for that. That's the first thing. So we use and we work with our head. Then something that we're not really usually able to do is reconnect with our emotions, because I mean, I speak for myself, but where I come from in Europe, in school, we're not reconnecting with our emotions with the content we are learning. And when I say emotions, I mean, when we talk about climate change, when we talk about digital impact on the environment and our lives, it does have an impact on us human beings. 50% of us is probably thinking with the head, but another 50% is feeling with the heart. And if we're not understanding what we're feeling, then we cannot capitalize on the last part, which is the most interesting one, is how do I engage? But I'm motivated to do that. I really want to do that. Don't forget, emotions come from emovere, to be in the move. And emotions for me, and if you come to my conferences, is never negative. Emotion is a signal. It's a signal that helps us to move. If you're in a bad mood in the morning, maybe something has happened, but you will actually start to work upon it. How can I be better? For example, how can I feel better? All of that. So we use the awareness, the well-being, and the action, the head, the heart, and the hands. Okay. Another element which I don't have a slide for is that we want to play. Game is really important. Gaming and have fun is when we will learn and teach to the people is really important to engage too. All right, so let's start first with a digital collage workshop, a 3 hours workshop. Well, what is it? It's a workshop to understand, and as I said, as a team and in a fun way. So you can see here the people on this picture around the table. There are 6 to 8 people, and they're actually playing with cards and learning at the same time the impact of digital technologies from the usage part, the manufacturing, the extraction, the resources, not so fun, not so glamorous at the end, the system, how everything is connected, and how also in a second part, we can reduce it. This workshop is based on a lot of reliable sources. Unlike climate change, we don't have one source, unfortunately, in digital. And that also reflects the lack of interest or focus on digital sustainability so far. But we've actually gathered what we know is the most updated sources. What you will see as well in this is that we cannot go on to one number, but we need to look at the trends here. And they are all the same across those sources. The trends are the same, even if the absolute numbers might not match. Okay, further into this workshop now. So you're a team, you've seen 6 to 8 people around the table. There is a facilitator that will help you through the workshop. And this workshop lasts half a day, a minimum of 3 hours, 3 to 3.5 hours. And it's actually based on 4 phases here. The first phase will be to understand. So you will play with those cards. I hope you see them. So I have lots of cards here. I have sets of cards you can see here. And those cards, we will distribute them on a blank sheet of paper. And you will manage to get them in a certain order. Once you're done, then we will ask for your creativity, because it's important to take perspective on all the cards that you will have put together. You've seen a lot of things. You've seen pollution, social impact, ethical impacts as well, recycling, very poor recycling, and then have a helicopter view and decorate what you have done with some pens and papers and find a title together. That allows the brain to actually de-stress a little bit from the high level of concentration you have had in this phase 1, and also exchange with your colleagues or with your friends, and then take some perspective on it. And then we will feedback on this. And then there will be action, because we understand what's going on now. We're more equipped to understand what we can do. And we have lots of cards as well for action in this workshop. Here is one, for example, repair our equipment. And we engage a discussion, because you will see that action can be different for different people in the room according to their context and where they are. Now, this is the workshop. And actually, I wanted to talk to you about the project. This workshop is not in few pair of hands. This workshop can be learned by any one of you. You can join this. You can participate into the workshop and then become a facilitator. To date, because of this model, we've been able to reach more than 136,000 participants in the world. We have trained more than 4,600 facilitators, so you can join this and you can become a facilitator. And this has helped a lot of people internally in their companies or around them to embark more people, to have more people engaging with the topic and understanding what it is, what is the matter. As I said, you just need two things here to do to join the movement. One is to participate in a workshop. We've got lots of public workshops that are really almost for free, I think £1 to £5 only. I've put everything here, and you will have also all the links afterwards to this. So don't worry at all to take notes here, because you will have all the links. I put also the link to the organization website, and you can become a facilitator yourself. We are a few in the UK. I am able to train as well. We are a few trainers as well. So you can join this as well. So that's the workshop, 3 hours. Let's go on to the conference format now for a little. It's a short format. It's called the digital impact pitch. As you can see, we're in a room all together, or we do it hybrid, or we do it online. It's quite bespoke to whatever situation we've got. Now I put my hat, Planet on Stage, because the digital impact pitch belongs to Planet on Stage. Sorry, it's a bit confusing with all these logos. It's a non-for-profit organization that we co-founded 2 years ago because we wanted to accelerate the transition, to accelerate and gain more people to engage with this. Planet on Stage, as it's called, turns every stage in the world into a platform for environmental action. What does this mean? It means that we create conferences, interactive, and we train also people, engage people like you or sustainability consultant to become even stronger and more impactful in the way they communicate on those complex issues. And that is a base probably from my career in a media agency where I had to pitch, and you had only 15 minutes to convince a client that you're the best agency in the room. Well, here it's the same. When it comes to sustainability, you have one shot, and you can't miss that shot. So we want to equip everyone out there that is engaging with this not to miss their shot and to be really strong in how they convey this. So the conferences first that we develop, we have two at the moment. One is the climate pitch that we launched 5 years ago, and it really grew very quickly. And very quickly, we were actually amazed by the request in companies, but not only companies, really. We have a high satisfaction level in universities for students, so everything above 16 years old. It's all based on storytelling, visual storytelling. I am very visual, so I will give you a demo in a moment. Don't worry, I'll just finish this. And then we developed digital impact pitch. Why? Because we knew that climate pitch has worked with a lot of these communication elements in there. There are lots of communication elements, and I will give you one here. We are two to present. Why? Because it's boring to listen to the same voice again and again for a whole hour or even 90 minutes. So we need to make sure that the attention of the people is really high all the time. So we're two people to present in a ping pong. There are a lot of questions asked. We love to interact with the public. So we use a platform called Sydow or Mentimeter, and we use this drawing in and out zooming, but you will see in a moment. So I'm really, really excited about the digital impact pitch, because I think this one is the one that you're most interested in today, but maybe not. So it's interactive, as I said, and this is compact key messages that you have seen in the digital collage already in the workshop. So we talk about the usage aspect. We go behind the scenes. We bring you into a story in a backpack to discover the manufacturing aspect, the extraction of resources, the resources aspect, what it does on pollution on air, soil, for example, and the impact on biodiversity. And the recycling as well, the recycling element, the end of life. But not only that, we are putting the perspective on this exponential growth that we're living and what it means as well to have AI into this mix. A little bit on ethics, a little bit on mental health as well at the end. And the picture I show you was in a room full of 1,000 people all together. We want to accelerate. We want to have the bigger stages because this is a format that is addressing to everyone. But it starts with 20 people in a room. We had also leadership teams participating to this. With 16, 20 people, we can make it even more interactive. It's based also on very reliable sources. As you can see, I've put here an arrow. So we try to find the trends, and the trends are the same throughout those resources and sources. All right. How is the flow of a conference? You have 5 key moments, actually. The introduction needs to be done by the client, for example, if you're in a company. And then we take on 35 minutes on this big drawing visual storytelling. I will show you in a minute. Here it's about climate change, but it's digital impact as well. We work with IT teams and to engage with all the employees internally as well. We have a little moment of mood and reactions and what does it do with us actually and with our emotions. And then we reconnect with what's the challenge here at stake and what can we do? What can I do individually? But most importantly, what can we do collectively? It's important to look at the collective before even going too much into the details of the individual aspect. All right, so I'll show you just a possible deployment path of those tools, for example. If you are in a company and you're juggling with the question, how can I spread awareness in my company so that people really engage with my low carbon strategy, with my digital strategy, digital impact strategy? Well, you have, for example, the conferences that you can start up with because it's unlimited participants in those conferences. Once you've done that, you can actually propose as a conversion because that will awake the interest of people who haven't talked about the subject before to know more, because 60, 90 minutes is not enough time to deepen into more detail. So you can offer them to attend a digital collage workshop, 3 hours, goes more into the details. Go to there are other tools, of course, available, the WE Climate Fresk as well, more on the climate change. And then if you want to train people might want to go one step further and become facilitators. They can. They then train to become a facilitator. And what it gets to, and I've done that multiple times with few bigger companies, is that you can create a pool of sustainability ambassadors to follow you. Usually CSR managers are very lonely. So it's very important for them to actually build those teams and those communities. The Southwest Green Tech community is great as well. So you have to support each other. Supporting each other and the collective is so important. Really emphasize on this message when we present our conferences. Let me bring you now in the world of a digital impact pitch, because I think I still have a few minutes left. And let's start with us. So we all have this bag, I think, and we think, well, my laptop is super easy, super light to bring. I can put it in my backpack here. I take my smartphone with me, and then I go off and everything is good. I just sit on my desk and I'm super flexible. Is that really it? Is that the reality of how our backpack looks like? Well, now we invite you during this conference, this is what we do in the conference, to get really, really, really mini size. So, you know, like the movie where you get really mini and you don't know where you are and you see all the details. Then we get really mini and we jump into this backpack. Why? To understand what's behind our laptop and smartphones. All right, so, and we ask lots of questions. So for example, the first question I would ask you is how many, according to you, how many internet connected digital devices do you think we have in use around the world? So if you want, you can join here on the Sydow. Either you scan the QR code that I show you, or you just go into your browser and type slido.com. And there is a code here that you can use for today. You can do it now. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. It's just a demo. So if you answer, perfect. If you don't answer, that's absolutely fine too. But let's think of how many connected digital devices you think we have in use around the world. I see that I have 1 people have joined, so that's perfect. Is it 4 billion? Is it 17 billion that we have in use? 30 billion or 49 billion? Okay, come on. I'm sure you're more than that. Yeah, I know it's a burden to actually have to take your phone when you're looking at and watching a conference, but just do it for the sake of the exercise here. Thank you. Perfect. Perfect. So I've got 8 response here. Okay, 49, 30 billion, your cracks already, of course. Actually, the right answer according to the sources we've got, but the sources are already outdated. You know how quickly this goes right now. 30 billion. But actually, you're right. It's 30 billion plus devices, because this is projected to double by 2030. So when we talk about the conference or the digital collage workshop, one of the main outtake that we get to the people is to recognize that it's not all about virtuality. It's a lot about materiality. And we go a lot into the materiality aspect of the digital impact. Right, so we go then onto a big drawing here, and we start from our usage. We're at the top of our backpack. Do you remember our backpack? And yes, so that our smartphone can be used, we need data centers that generate so many data every millisecond. And with AI, it's propelled even more. Network infrastructure, which we don't see really, but it's material as well. It's satellites above our heads, it's cables under the sea. Well, that's a lot of materiality too. And what we still need so that our smartphones or laptops function, it's energy. And energy to date is based on 80% on fossil fuels. Fossil fuels, which we know are emitting carbon, which are not good. And that's for another conference, for the climate change conference. And then we go into this. So I won't have the time to do this with you. We explain the greenhouse gas emission that actually comes from our user equipment and not from the data centers. But we're talking about an exponential growth here. And data centers are growing as we talk. Every 3 days, I think, Microsoft is building 1 data center. So we're not forgetting about this as well. And we go through our bag. We're looking at the manufacturing and resources. We look at big baggers like this one, the biggest machine ever constructed in humanity, extracting a lot of earth crust per day. And I won't go into the details, I don't have the time. And we do a lot of exercises as we do this, and we embed you into this as well. At the end, at the bottom of our backpack, we've got the pollution, we've got the social and ethical impact we will talk about as well, and also the end of product life and how poor our recycling at the moment is, but also equally at the same time, how much potential we've got to develop in this area. So we went from us with our small backpack, very light, to this type of backpack. And this backpack still owns a great shadow. And this shadow has a lot more in it. So this is where we will talk about mental health, for example. And at the end, we have made all this exploration to know that we absolutely need to question ourselves as we move forward in the digital era. And we're not saying digital is bad. Digital is great. I'm passionate about digital. I'm in there since 20 years at least. But we need to be more prioritized, more cautious, more questioned about how we evolve. So that was a quick snapshot of the conference that we're giving. And I give you one shot here of hope and motivation. Please break the myth of being perfect. We've been educated to be perfect people, but we don't need perfection here. You can start right now. You're not an imposter. We don't need 100 perfect activists here, but millions of imperfect ones. That's the most important. And then we go into our action at the end, of course, of the conference. Okay, so that was the conference demo in only a few minutes, and I've got 2 minutes left here to talk to you about the public speaking training that you can take part to as well. And here is just a small outline of how this public speaking training is done. We've worked a lot and hard on this public speaking training because they are not every kind of public speaking training. They are public speaking training with impact. So learning how to talk about those complex topics and also divisive topics. So I've been confronted to conferences where I had climato-skeptical, for example, or skeptical people around the topic. You need to be able to manage those conversations, being with one people or thousands of people. So we work through the stress and let go. We work together with a certified coach, actually, based on theater and improvisation techniques. Myself, I've done a lot of musical theater, and I've been trained as well for this type of training. We give you a lot of levels to successful public speaking. We explain how your posture will be super important in this journey. Who am I? Do I embody all of this? I am, what you show up is super important. How do I connect with the people around me in the room is very important. And also live practice. So we make live practice as well. So to date, we've reached more than 20,000 participants around the world. We've trained more than 150 engaged sustainability managers, leaders, or CSR, or people involved in this. We've run more than 330 conferences, I think, and we're in more than 15 countries. And you too can join the movement. So you can start in participating and discovering those public sessions, Climate Pitch and Digital Impact Pitch. You can go onto our website, you can register for one, but the best is to come in person because I will be with you in Bristol on the 7th of May, and I'm really thrilled because I will be sharing the stage together with Rupert. Rupert is also a trained digital impact pitcher with me, and we will be delighted to share that with you. And if you're interested with public speaking training with impact, then go on and fill our form on the website. Everything will be given to you afterwards. And just a last word, if you want to deepen your communication skills, you don't want to go to any of those public sessions, then I give you one book that you can read that Virginia wrote and is really well done. She has been a sustainability consultant expert for more than 25 years, I think. And you might see some insights from myself in this book as well. So I hope it was quick, condensed, but I'm sure you have questions.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Sandra. Yeah, round of applause for Sandra in the comments if we can, and any appropriate emojis you think suit the talk. Yeah, that was really interesting, and we can't wait to get you over to Bristol for the Digital Impact Conference. I made a note of one expression that you use, creating a pool of internal sustainability ambassadors. That sounds just awesome. So congrats on everything you've been working on so far. Cool. We have collected a few questions which I'm going to put to you, but if you have any more, yes, just either drop them in the comments or pop them in the Q&A section, and we'll get through as many as we can. So the first question we've got for you is from Mary. It says, how do you measure impact? How do you know if people are following up on actions and what they're doing?
Yeah, this is like the seed story from Luigi Carni. It's very difficult. So Luigi actually can really follow up on the growth of the seeds now because there are technologies developed to do that. For us, it's much trickier, and I tell you why. We're only one part of the journey of the people. So it's very difficult to just isolate one of the action that we're doing. So for example, a conference of 60 minutes or 90 minutes, we're not expecting and having high expectations. We just want the people to feel that emotion, to feel the connection with the topic, come out of the room, not maybe remembering one of the statistic we gave them. And we don't care about that. But if they want to engage, they don't want to ignore anymore. They're really motivated to do something. they will take the immediate next step. And maybe the immediate next step is just to read another article and to get peu à peu or slowly into the mode of deepening your knowledge. So that's for the conference. For the workshop, the 3 hours workshop, I mean, when we talk to companies, for example, we say, I will never deliver a workshop or a conference if I'm not sure that the client is able to embed this in a frame. So where do I come here with my conference? What has happened before? Do you have a carbon report already? Did you do some work on digital impact already? Do you have some 10 golden rules that the people are following with you? So it's part of the whole. And after the conference, I always say, be careful, because people will want to talk about it. What we see and measure right away, Mary, maybe, is that people are actually talking. They haven't talked about that before. So what we enable is that, and I have seen that with my eyes and my ears after each conference, so that for few conferences, we had to open up a room afterwards so that people could come and exchange on this, because they had this need to finally put the topic on the table together. And that prompted actually engagement. And what I always say is that after a conference or such workshop, you really need to have a bond to a community. You're not alone. That's the most important. Don't stay alone. Be in a community. That's why this community is fantastic. This is the fantastic thing. So I'm sorry, I'm not telling you, yes, we measure our impact and we know exactly, because I would lie to you. We measure our impact right after. We have a satisfaction level. We're between 4.5 and 5 in general. We are very high in the university also for students, but in companies as well. So, and we have the conversion point where we say, okay, if you were interested with the conference and the topic, you want to do a digital workshop, a digital collage workshop, then apply here. And that's also a measurement, but not more than that, unfortunately. I hope it answers.
Great stuff. No, that's a really good answer. Thank you. Thanks for the question, Mary. Next question we've got, what are the most common issues people tell you about the difficulties in communicating digital sustainability?
So I've been working with a lot of IT departments, IT leaders, and their main problems is to get their action being implemented and popular. They're not popular. So you need to actually make digital sustainability the next cool thing. So I've been working on internal campaign for this, on how to make, for example, having a refurbished laptop. How cool is that? How long have I had my laptop for, and be really proud about it? So really switch the narrative to the other end and make the people really proud about being part of this change in the company. And I've seen that particularly painful actually for people in 100% digital context. So companies using only digital as their main tool and their main way of growth. So you have to be really upon your feet here and understand the narrative that you're giving, and really making sure that people engage and understand the problem. The first step is really understanding what we're talking about. For some people, you don't need to explain in length. They just need, maybe just this conference, just 35 minutes of this, and then it will reconnect with few things. But actually, this is where it's usually difficult. And what I always say to digital department as well, IT department, for example, is to bond with the marketing department, to use transversality. You need to work with others in this mission. You need to go beyond. I mean, the SDG, the Sustainable Development Goals, they tell us SDG number 17 is about partnership. We're not in a mindset of competition here. We're a mindset of partnership. We're all towards the same goal. How can we help each other? And that's why those communities are now happening everywhere, and that's great. There is a digital design group as well that you can join if you're in digital, and they're helping each other and creating more tools and more resources. We know the Green Software Foundation, we know a lot of them as well. So I hope it answers here.
Perfect, thanks for that. Good question. Next, so what steps people should consider in daily life for sustainability and carbon reduction? It's quite a broad question, but maybe if we could apply that to sort of digital sustainability.
I would almost say just spend 60 minutes and come to our online public sessions, because you will have the answers to all of this, and it's really easy then. But what I will say in a nutshell is that don't think virtual, think material. Think, how many devices do I have? Can I not buy this new device? Can I make my device stay longer? That's the most important impact that you will have, actually, and make people think around you about that. Find the next repair shop. Here in the UK, we've got the vape shop being repair shop, but at least they're doing repairs, and that's fantastic. So I prefer to invest my money into repairing rather than buying new. And now you have also new chains proposing refurbished devices. So in a nutshell, but please come for more info and more tips on this in one of our conference or workshop.
Great stuff. Thank you for that one. One more here. What type of companies have received the conferences most positively, and what actions do you know they have taken?
Oh, it's all sectors, really. We've had in education, we had a company in education, big company, and it was part of kicking off a working group on setting up. They were part of a digital strategy growth, and it's typical nowadays, of course, how to embed AI and how can they make good use of this. And they wanted to stop a little bit here and make their leadership and their employees really question the way they were using digital. Especially when you're designing new apps, for example, you have to embed this from the eco-design step. So you need to be aware of that. You need to be aware and asking you the right questions there already. How my consumer will use my app, and how do I make that my app will only be used for the objective that it has. And this objective has been proved already to be the best purpose for our planet and people. So all of that needs to be embedded. And this company, this specific company, was kicking off all these discussions, and they found it really difficult to engage with people on this. They were not understanding, they were not engaging. So we came in, they did, and we had the CEO talking. That's super important also to have someone who is carrying this at the heart of the company growth and believing into this. And after that, they had then working groups, kicking off working groups. And I think they are on march to implement this action plan, where they embedded the people as well into this work. So, and we had others. There was more in the IT department, a lack of awareness of the IT department. So we went and we actually run that workshop or that conference so that the IT department knew. And after that, what happened is that they absolutely wanted to roll the conference or the workshop within the companies to all employees, because they saw actually the click that it makes and the positive aspects of it to unlock and don't have themselves to talk about a difficult topic.
Great stuff. Yeah, thank you for that. And one from Sarah says, how do you manage IT divisions that don't prioritize digital sustainability due to workload or lack of presence in the IT strategy?
So what the first thing, what I say, sometimes I'm in touch with people who are not in the leadership team, and they really want to engage. And this employee engagement is extremely important. Do not underestimate it. We talked about collective being collective. There are now groups helping you with resources on climate engagement in your own capacity, so that you can go and talk and make the case to your leadership team. I think the most important is really to convince your leadership team that that's the best for the future and that's the best business case they can have. If they don't do anything, it's more of a risk than, and it's a big risk actually they're taking on many fronts. They will lose talents. They will lose business cases because they will need to comply. They now have to comply to sustainability conditions in every single offer that they will make. If they cannot show that they're doing their own work, it's difficult. So first thing first is leadership. Leadership needs to be convinced. And I've been in leadership, I've been running this, and maybe sometimes it's only a keynote of 25 minutes, but it's enough to go into the pain points of those people. So I really try to understand where they are, what is their situation, but then turn it into a positive story.
Fantastic. Thanks very much, Sandra. Yeah, you did really well with those questions. Thank you, everyone. You popped them into the Q&A. Hannah's popping back on, or she's popped the slide up. Yeah, so just another round of applause really in the comments, if we can, for Sandra for giving up her time, telling us all about these amazing conferences and workshops. Yeah, as I say, we're really excited to get you over to Bristol, you know, on May the 7th. So yeah, look out for that and make sure you sign up if you're local. And yeah, just a reminder that we will be grabbing Sandra's slides and getting a write-up out to everyone who wants to investigate more. So yeah, thank you so much, Sandra.
Thank you. Thank you to you all for your time. And I hope to see you.
Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing you in the flesh. And thank you everyone for tuning in. And if you're watching this back later, then yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, we'll look forward to seeing you at the next event. Take care. Thank you.